Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, that's WORIMI, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies. Okay, TGIF, which means next 2 days I won't actually be doing any videos unless something really dramatic happens. But I still do post in my post section news that comes out because it is Dump Friday for the regime. And I'll still be hearting and reading your comments. So thank you for joining us on this journey. Okay, news that's out. Sadly, the guides were right. Canada has put down money for 14 more US fighter jets. As much as I tried to subvert that and change it to grip-ons from Sweden, no, the guides and the cards were right when I read that on read on it a couple of weeks ago. I just also want to point out with the reading I did, was it yesterday, on EPS providing what money can't buy. A lot of you commented about information that's coming out in the EPS files. I'm not going to read on that in particular information, but I just want to point out that the Orange Twerp always, and I mean always, tells on themselves. It just takes a little bit of time sometimes to put two and two together. So remember his obsession with Hannibal Lecter, and I'm just going to leave it as that. Okay, I just also want to just point out that anything that comes out of the regime or the White House as press releases or photographs or videos or anything like that, just question the source of where they come from, because my guides have been saying for a long time that when he's down and out, not dead, but incapacitated, that they will continue to put out information, videos, photographs, etc., potentially with some AI usage, to make it appear like he is still amongst the upright. So there was photographs of apparently came out yesterday of him and Net in the Oval Office. Remember that he and Net have met a dozen times over the last however many years. The photographs could have been from any of those occasions. But also a few of you commented about the video where he was addressing the miners. That allegedly, entertainment only, was streamed according to his schedule, because I check the schedule every day. That was streamed from a room in the White House. Wasn't actually at the miners, wasn't with the miners, wasn't on stage anywhere, could have been easily pre-recorded at any time. And I also just want to question the EPA announcement, only because, now I'm going to, 2 yeses, was it pre-recorded? Yes, yes, that's the miners one. There's 12 yes, 12 no, and 2 blank cards in my yes, no cards. I want to question the EPA announcement that came out overnight my time. I did watch the video on mute because nails down the chalkboard, and I sped it to double speed, and it was 30 minutes long, which was, or not even that, 20 minutes long by the time they came in and went out again. That's incredibly short for a media press releasey thingy for the Orange Twerp, because we do know how he likes to waffle. There was one question asked from the supposedly pre-approved media, which makes me think there was only one person there to ask the question. So it could have easily have been pre-recorded. He's been yapping for ages about the I got yes and yes. Yes and no. Okay. He's been yapping for ages about changes to the EPA. I mean, the rest of the world's gone. Whereas this announcement's come out and basically said, yeah, pump all your toxic gases into the atmosphere. Nobody's going to stop you. Nobody's going to question you. There's going to be no regulation. Okay, so I just want to ask, was that an actual announcement made yesterday. I want to ask, come on down, so you can see me shuffle. And yes, there's no cards, there's blank cards, there's yes cards. Was that an actual recording of an announcement made yesterday? Yes, yes, and yes. Okay, have to go by. So, yes, it was a recording of an announcement made yesterday. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. I did notice during the video when he wasn't, so yes, it was recorded yesterday. Did notice during the video that he was either leaning really heavily on the lectern, and when he wasn't, he was off to the side for not long. He was constantly, and you especially noticed it when it was sped up, he would be constantly pulling himself back up again. Okay, what do I want to have a look at in this particular reading? I am going to have a look. I've been asked to have a look at musk, Fleon, and Neuralink testing. So I've got my runic tarot out today, my cheat sheet, and my cards. So Neuralink announced by Fleon, quite a while ago now. Initial testing was pig trials back in 2020. It's implants into the brain. Now I keep getting that Musk is a reincarnation of, and I can't remember his name, Joseph somebody or other. It's not Goebbels. The guy that used to do all the horrific testing on the Holocaust victims, the head of that, or somewhere in those ranks. He's one of those dudes that used to do the horrible, horrific human testing. Okay, so first of all, testing on pigs in 2020, moved on to human trials in 2024. It was initially touted as a cure for, not a cure, but to assist paraplegics to be able to use their minds to move their bodies, but also to write on computers, etc. But what's recently, he's now coming out and claiming, the most recent is that it's a game changer for dementia by being able to save and replay memories. So there's some funky stuff going on here that is very uncomfortable. So I just want to have a look at, I'm actually getting I think it must be an implant back here somewhere. Well, that's where the cochlear ear is, back there. But I was just getting prickly feelings in the back of my head there. I know memory, I believe, is in the frontal lobe, but there's something, yeah, it's still going. I'm getting prickly right here in the back of my head. Okay, right, let's have a look. Deep breath. Is Musk, or anyone that Musk is associated with, I know I could use the yes, no, but I'm using the runic for a little bit further, is anyone that Musk is associated with testing Neuralink on detention, anyone in detention, anyone that is being held against their will. Is anyone being tested on against their will? Put it that way for Neuralink. Is anyone being tested on against their will? Energy. Right. Oh, the Judgment card. That card was on the bottom when I pulled the deck out, and I did not show it because I thought, well, I've only just pulled the deck out. Yeah, judge. Oh, and when I split the deck, that was the card on the second side of splitting the deck. But again, the skin being that I am got in the way and said, no, don't show it because you haven't shuffled yet. Judgment, 9 of Swords, the Moon, the Emperor. But then we have the Star, being the Star Link, Star Boy. I am going to say yes. 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana. That's all off the bottom. He thinks he's God. With that 7 of Wands, just going by the imagery, he thinks he's God. Uh, 9 of Swords. Swords can be about intellect, about the brain, about brain waves. But look at these swords just plunged in the back, through the heart. Dark energy with the Moon, the Emperor, my way or the highway. I'm doing this. Going judgment day pretty much. And Starboy. I'm going to say yes, he is. Someone he is associated with, someone, yeah, they're doing trials on people against their will. Okay, what do we need to know about this? What do we need to know? What do we need to know about this? What do we need to know? Judgment's still on the bottom there. What do we need to know about this? These trials. Oh gosh, what do we need to know? What do we need to know? Almost don't want to look, but anyhow, okay, put the energy in. Protect and energy. Deep breath, protect and energy. What do we need to know? There's that King of Cups. That was the next card on the bottom. A lot of people have Fleon as the King of Cups because he's a water sign, Cancer, I believe. And there's that 9 of Swords again. But the 8 of Swords on detainees. Just really put those back. What do we need to? I mean, the answer is yes, they are on detainees against their will. What is going to happen? Is this going to be revealed and information coming out? 8 of Pentacles. Information's coming out. It's almost like someone's going to write a paper on it and release it. There's that Emperor again. I'll just move you back. Oh, no, can't. There's that Emperor again. Challenges the Emperor. My way or the highway. King of Pentacles. At the foundation, the oligarchical money that's behind it. In the past, like setting fire to everything that has gone before. And if you have a look down the bottom, it's discarded armor and bones and you name it, with this new plan, this new wands for me, plan, passion, career and communication. And I'm thinking this is the passion career section, a determination to do this. The energy over this is the 6 of Cups, the children, because they've got the most pliable brains. the immediate future, the moon card, the darkness being revealed. Now, I'm just going to pop those there for 2 seconds and I'm going to talk about what's coming up astrologically, because there is, in the immediate future, there is darkness that is going to be exposed. Today, the 13th, we have Aries. Saturn is going into Aries. And from what I can understand, it's about karma and lessons being learned. So karma coming and biting them on the bum with lessons that need to be learned. So it's sort of a, if I say, a mild introduction to the wild astrology of this month. Now, I won't pretend to understand astrology. I love it. Goes in one ear, goes out the other. But I took notes on this. So we've got Saturn is going into Aries, which is about karma, and it is about lessons being learned today. On the 17th, so in 4 days' time, the year of the fire horse starts on the Chinese zodiac, which is about rapid change, charging in, fire energy, burning all that goes before it. But it's just really, almost like this energy, but not. It's not dark energy, it's actually light energy, because at the same time there is the solar eclipse that, yes, thank you for the correction, is happening, I believe, around the Antarctica, if I'm correct. But a solar eclipse, so I was thinking of the lunar eclipse, which is happening in March, which is happening in the region of the White House. But the solar eclipse happening in 4 days, all about exposure, things being exposed from the dark. This is the moon card. And then on the 20th of February, Saturn and Neptune will be conjunct for the first time in at least 7,000 to 9,000 years. Astrologers are struggling to pinpoint the actual date that it last happened. Saturn and Neptune will be conjunct in the 0 degrees of Aries. Now, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and 0 degrees is the first degree of the first sign of the zodiac. So it's the beginning of the beginning of the beginning of the beginning. And what this is going to bring, it's the very, very, very start, and it is a Genesis shift. Now, I'm sure there's a lot more that can be said about this. As I said, astrology goes in one ear and out the other. Dabney Lawless from Lawless Astrology, fabulous on this very subject. But this is a significant shift in humanity. And the Genesis shift, now, it doesn't necessarily be on that day. It's around that particular day, because the energy is more than one particular pinpoint. So the Genesis energy, going back to this previous time in history, was when agriculture was birthed. It is a significant shift in the development of humanity. So a lot going on over the next, up to the 20th, the next week, literally the next 7 days. So, including ghastly beastliness coming out with the moon card. Okay, so let's keep going with this reading. Back down, pick up my cards. Being stopped. The Hanged Man on the bottom there. Being seen and being stopped. Okay, we've got externally Knight of Swords charging in. A harsh truth, a harsh reality being exposed. Charging in with legal action. When this is revealed, boy oh boy, it's not even the S going to hit the fan. It's going to be, and here we've got internally the King of Cups. I'm going to call this Fleon. Sometimes this is my Fleon card if I'm using the Gilded Tarot Royale, because he's all in green. And Fleon, the self-made, had the backing of his father's emerald mine that was worked by slaves. So, no, he was never self-made. Just like Jeff Bezos was never self-made either. Um, $250,000 back in the day from his parents, that's not self-made. Okay, so internally, Fleon himself. Harsh truth coming for Fleon. Hopes and fears. There's a whistleblower that's going to come out and expose. The outcome, the false victory. Well, this is my election interference card as well, one of mine, but a false victory declared or putting up the flag of surrender. 2 sixes, 6 of Pentacles. Tossed out of the ranks. Oh, well, speaking of tossed out of the ranks, Rosie's Insights, fabulous reading on Howard Lutnick or Nutlick, however you like to call him. I can't actually call him anything but Nutlick. It just won't. It just sticks in there. But I got this card for him being the sacrificed. But this is interesting. So the 2 sixes here, and then we've got the treason, the 3 of swords, the betrayal, the deceit, the beheading, the treason. Leo might find himself in, so we've got this hanged man being stopped, we've got the 9 of swords, we've got the death card. Oh boy. Okay, so is he testing? I'm going to say yes. The hanged man is also the sacrifice card. Can be sacrificed. Sacrificed. Okay. I hate to say this, but it's what my guys just said. He's going to claim in the name of science. I actually feel like I want to throw up. Yep. He is going to claim that it was in the name of science. Because as I split the deck to start shuffling, he thinks he is a god who can do, just whatever he likes because he is the richest man in the world. So therefore, yeah, he thinks he's a god. But how's this gonna end for Fleon? How's this going to end for all those involved? Because remember, the dude, now their timelines actually cross over. Oh, that was big oligarchical money. And I'm shuffling, and here's this on the bottom again. Legacy, but also exposure of the oligarchical money that's behind it. And here's this card, and oh. And it is detained. I'm going to say on detained children. Okay, let that go. I go with this. I can't even remember what I was saying before because my guides. Okay, how's this going to play out for? Oh, okay. The dude that was the head of the human experiments back in mustachioed Germany, he was still alive when Fleon was born. Sorry, I'm having my dandelion tea. He was still alive when Fleon was born. So they do cross over. But the period around the time when Fleon was born to the passing of the dude in the mustachioed Germany, the dude was incredibly ill, like really, really ill and in a coma for a while as well. So it is very possible that they both coexisted for a period of time. because I will not even pretend to ask how the spirit world works. I do know when my mother was in the last almost responsive coma stage for the last 3 days, numerous family members reported her coming and actually sitting and having conversations with them in the dream state. So even though her physical body was in that situation, her spiritual self was able to move around. Hogarth's dream, really interesting about EPS. And I must admit, see, I've never been able to get EPS having passed over. But it kind of makes sense that he might be in that middle ground there. I don't believe the body in the cell was EPS, but I keep getting that he has since passed over. So that a lot of that makes sense. So there's a few things where we, might disagree, but yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So it's very possible that Fleon and this dude, actually I'll pause you and just check who he was. Hang on a sec. Right, Joseph Mengele, yeah, or Mengele, how it's pronounced, Mengele. Okay, so it's very possible that they had a coexistent time. So my question is, how's it going to turn out for those that are actually involved? Because it's not Fleon doing it himself. He's not the one that's in there doing the surgeries. Now, remember, there's also a neurosurgeon that has been exposed as being in the X-Files as well. So neurosurgeons aren't necessarily innocent good guys. So come on down, let's have a look. Most of them are. We've got to trust that they are, but what's going to happen to those involved? What's going to happen to those involved in this? You want that one? Okay. What's going to happen with those involved? Okay. Ten of Cups. The clan, the boys club. I won't even call it the boys club because there's women there as well. But the energy at the moment is, celebrating, cheersing. But it's going to come to an end, the Ten of Cups. So you've got this figurehead here, the Emperor, sitting on the throne at the head of the table and being toasted, celebrated, lauded by those around the table. So what's going to happen to them? Right, the challenge is the Two of Cups. Oh, sorry, the Two of Pentacles. Pentacles being about health, juggling, trying to make a decision about which way to go forward. So the challenge is, okay, what I'm getting is the challenge is it's not working how they thought it would. So this is almost like discussions about, well, we didn't get the result we wanted. So what are we going to do next type thing in regards to health? Okay. The energy that they're stewing in, the Six of Swords, all the swords of truth, the sword of righteousness are facing downwards. They're powering on towards what they see as the dawn of the new age, the energy that they're stewing in. In the past, there's Star Boy, the star, crowning the reading, the devil. Why am I absolutely the energy over them, working in secret, trying to avoid investigation, but there is investigation coming, trying to avoid investigation. What's he holding in his arm there? Almost looks like in that fire. Remember we had that Ace of Pentacles there with the fire? I mean, he's holding his arm almost like there may be a pentacle in there, but it's almost like when you're holding a baby. Investigating bodies here, perhaps. Far out, what's going to happen to them? Right, there's that Six of Pentacles that we had for the outcome for Fleon himself. Thrown out of the ranks as the ranks close behind. Externally, the Death card. What's going to happen to them? Internally, the Knight of Swords. Harsh truth coming forward. But this could also be rash action, rash surgical brain action and death internally. What's going to happen to them? There's Fleon himself, the King of Cups and the hopes and fears. The outcome, the Nine of Pentacles, the King of Swords, Three of Cups, and Eight of Pentacles. This doesn't look like anything terribly severe. It's almost like money is going to protect them. Legal action may be bought, but the wagons are going to circle with that Three of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles. Money trails, work behind the scenes, and then the Chariot and the Fool. Moving forward, moving on, but the Fool, new beginnings. New beginnings. Underlying energies, the Justice card and the Ten of Pentacles. We've then got the Temperance card and the Sun. So the energy underlying, actions having consequences, but can't put the genie back in the bottle with that Ten of Wands. Might be the halted, but there's I hate to say it, but there might be some positive research that comes out of it that plants seeds for future. But for them themselves, we've got trying to create alchemy, trying to create something out of nothing, the Sun, full exposure. We've got the Five of Swords, and then we've got the Moon card, Five of Swords, abuse of power, betrayal, deceit, ploughing, moving forward regardless of the cost, and then the Moon card being exposed. I would have hoped some horrific cards came out for them, but I don't see it. I feel really deflated by that. It's is one person going to get blamed? Is the blame, because we've got that Six of Pentacles, and I think what's going to happen is that Fleon himself is going to be roasted for it, is what I'm getting. Roasted for it. Those that actually did the work, poof. I'm just getting poof. They're going to disappear. And as I shuffled, that was on the bottom. Ending, but seeds have been planted for the future. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. That's another yicky reading. Okay. Please, deep breath, self-care. Watch the Olympics. Scotty James? Yeah, Scotty James. Through first place in the half pipe. The Kiwis third. The second Aussie, Valentino, gotta love him, is fourth through to the finals in the half pipe, and they are tomorrow morning. So deep breath, just know that this is all going to be revealed. and hold on for the ride. Do not feel that you need to be aware of everything, and absolutely do not absorb. Okay, catch you later.